Hey folks, welcome to this edition of Old Fools Talking Old School. And Rodney and I always try to have a lot of fun on these podcasts, but every now and then there comes a time when you need to talk about some serious stuff. When you start to get old and you can't take care of yourself, and by all means, your final wishes when you reach the end of that road. And that's what we're going to talk about today in this episode called Get Your Stuff in Order.
That's it, man. That's why, you know, again, our people sometimes, man. I mean, their feelings are genuine, and I understand where they come from, but business wise, it don't make no sense. My mama gonna stay here with me, that's all right, but that it ain't practical. You trying to work, and that puts a hindrance on that. Like I told my sons, I said, hey, man, if it get to the point where I can't take care of myself. I said, put me in a home. All I
Mhm.
ask, all I ask is you come by and see me every once in a while, but ain't no need of, pinning yourself down to a life because it always ends up being those ones who are super dedicated and want to keep mom and daddy, but the rest of the siblings ain't going to do jack, and then your whole life is hindered. And then there, you can't help but to have some resentment come in there. I'm like, no, man. All I ask is if I'm able-bodied and can do it, if you let me live with you, okay. But it ain't no requirement. But if I'm definitely a hindrance, don't change your life. Do your thing with your family, and it's just hopefully it'll never happen. But people need to think about that. Everybody loves their loved ones, but this blind allegiance, and I can't help but a lot of it. I mean, you have those siblings who are just that way, and they have that much allegiance to their mom or their dad or whomever. But you got a lot of people out there just worried about what other people gonna think. Man, they put her in a home. Well,
Mhm.
you know what?
Mhm.
That's the best place for her. You know, and you can be responsible by putting somebody in a home because you go up there and check and make sure your loved one ain't being taken advantage of.
Right, right.
But all that, and I know what it's about. It's about you ain't got the money to do it, but if you got the money to do it, and I'm gonna supply enough money for you to do it. If you make that decision, don't feel guilty about it. You know.
Yeah, we've had those conversations already. I said, we sat down with the girls, and I said, just like that. Papa ain't don't want to stay home. Papa told me he wanted to stay home long. No, I'm ready to right now. When I get to the point to where I'm starting to be a burden and I can't take care of myself and things of that nature, I said, don't have no second thoughts about finding a place. I said, I would like for you to try to find a good place. I said,
Yeah, yeah,
don't take me down to one of them 1-star rated places
yeah, yeah.
and put me in there. I said, try
Earl,
to put me in a
Earl,
good.
Earl Shy, boy.
That's right. That's right. Put me. I said, I request that you put me in a decent place. I said, but don't worry about that. I said, y'all got y'all's life to live, and
That's right.
I said, it's just. I don't want there to be any doubt whatsoever. If it comes to that point to where, I'm starting to, like I say, be a burden and can't take care of myself or endangering other people and myself, kind of thing. I
Right.
said, yeah, take me to a home, put me in there. So usually by that point in your life, anyway, your creature comforts are so little that you ain't got to have you know a 5-star hotel. Like I say, just put me in a 3-star place. They give me some food during the day, and y'all come by
Yep.
and see me, like you say. I said that's all I'm looking for. I said, but I just want to have that kind of conversation now, so there's no discussions later on if it comes to that point of what my desires were. And I said, I hope I'm in my right mind now. I said at that point, probably I won't be in my right mind. So
Right.
if I say I don't want to go somewhere, that ain't me. I'm letting you know right now what my desires are. So
That's right. One of the things I find that just from dealing with family, I just don't understand it's not a topic that you relish talking about, but I don't understand why our folks don't want to talk about it. Like it ain't gonna happen. Eventually, it's gonna happen, and even if they don't, that's why I try to be the polar opposite. I talk to my kids about those things. Most people of a certain generation, they don't even want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to talk about nothing, no final plans. They don't want to talk about what do you want to do with this or what do you want to do with that. You gonna die. We all gonna die. So some things need to be taken care of, so you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
Yeah.
And
That's the way I am too. Like I said, we've talked about those things. That's why we went ahead and got our burial plots and everything. Me and Marion talked about that because I said, you're not from here. Your folks are, most of them are buried down there in Alabama. As far as her mom and grandma. I said, do you want to go and be buried back there? She said, no. I don't want to go back down there. I want to be, where you are. So we got our own plots, and I've even drafted drafted an obituary because
mm-hmm,
I've seen some of them
mm-hmm,
that I'm like, who wrote this? A fifth grader? You know? So, and I've seen some that's taken up, half the page of the
well, it's
newspaper because they
it's
want
a
to talk
book.
about everything from the time they were born. He was born at an early age, and I'm like, no, I don't want that either. But I mean, I think there's certain things I like to have it in there, and so I said I've done that, and I said hopefully at that point all you have to do is just add the very end things of when I left this world. I said, but yeah, you take those kind of things off of people. Like you say, it's going to happen.
Yeah,
You want it to be as late as it can. My uncle keeps saying, well, I never had so many problems in my life. I said, well, you ain't been 88 years old in your life before either.
right.
And I
That's
said, it's
exactly
like
right.
anything else. Do you hope to live a long life, and maybe there's going to be some issues toward the end because that's just where our human bodies are made, or do you want to die early? And I said, I think most people are going to tell you they don't want to die early.
That's right.
So I said, you just deal with it. You deal with it when you get to that point, like like we are with him, and do the best you can. And that's sort of what I just sort of ask for. Just do the best you can, and that's all you can do. I mean, as I tell him, about my aunt, I said, you can't go in there and lay hands on her and she automatically get out of that bed and start walking.
That's right.
That's, this is her reality. She's going to be like this till the day the Lord calls her.
Right.
So I said, yeah, I mean, there are miracles and things happen. I said, but I just don't see it. I don't think you don't want to, live the rest of your life thinking one day you're going to wake up and she's going to be standing there talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to pretty much be this way from now on. And I said, you just have to accept that and just
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you feel comfortable that you're doing all you can for her. And I said, you're definitely doing that. You basically got her 24-hour care, and you can't ask for more than that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just part of it. You just
It
gotta.
is. It is, man. I mean, I know our situation. We're just, everything is set up. We got the wills. We got all of that, living wills, all that kind of stuff. Our problem is just. I had said that this last time we went home, I was going to go ahead and get the plots. I didn't do it because we're still, I'm like, uh, 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 the final resting place. That's what's up in arms, because I'm sitting here and I'm looking at my sons, and really, God forbid anything happened to them, you know, do we want to bury them down there and we're up here,
Mm-hmm.
and then thinking that we're gonna go down there? It's just all kind of shit. I don't even know how to address it. We thought we'd make a decision. Well, like I said, the last time we was gonna buy plots down there, but we buy plots down there for me and her. Then the boys be up here,
Right. Right.
and even now with us, the way things are happening, if whatever the Lord's will is. But I got one parent down there, she got one parent down there. Something happened to them. I don't know how much more we're gonna be going down there.
Right. Right.
And so it's every time we think we got it figured out, it's like I don't know. But we're gonna have to do something because you ain't gonna. It ain't like there's a time clock running. So we're gonna have to shit or get off the pot, as the old folks used to say.
Yeah, yeah. And we talked about that when we were making our plans about well, we're living here in Murfreesboro now. Do we get plots here in Murfreesboro? And I said, well, we really don't have any ties to this area other than the fact
Right.
that we just came back here because we thought this was the most desirable place we wanted to be. Close to home, but not right at home, and a big enough city that all those kind of things. So I said, I don't see that we have any ties really to Murfreesboro. I said, I have ties to McMinnville. That's only about 45 minutes away. I said, your ties are to Alabama and to San Antonio in some extent. I said, so, I think it's going to be more of an effect on you than me.
Right. Right.
And that's when, like I said, we had those discussions. And she said, no, I don't want to go back to Alabama. I want to be, buried wherever you are. So I said, well, I'm gonna go back home, and that's where my dad's buried, and that's where my mom will be, and that's where the other kids have their plots too, and that's where my uncle and aunts are going to be. And I said, I look at it, it ain't like situation where you expect your kids to come to your gravesite every day. I said, if they come there once a year and put some new flowers or whatever on there, kind of thing, that's really about the norm. It ain't like they go out there every day, kind of thing. And it's only like 45 minutes away. So I said, I think that's probably the best way to go. That way, we're there with other parts of our family and things, and people can come see us, and they can also visit the graves of the other parts of the family.
Yeah.
So it worked out pretty good and pretty easily for us. But I can see y'all's situation.
Man,
I can see y'all's is a lot more sort of complex in a way than ours is.
Man, and then check this out. So, okay, it's time to make an executive decision. Let's stop doing all this. Okay, so she's like, well, I want to go back home. I said, okay, well, I want to go back home too. Then we decided we're going to go back home. Now, her folks are buried in Arkansas. My folks buried in Texas.
Yep.
So now it's like, okay, so where do you want to be buried at? Well, I want to be in Arkansas. I'm like, well, hell, I want to be in Texas. so then she's talking about, well, I'm gonna go ahead and be in Arkansas. You just go over and take. I said, so to hell with us. Like, boy, we finally get the destination. Now we can't agree upon which cemetery. I'm like, Lord have mercy. So yeah, we're gonna have to get something done though, because being over there and everybody, hell, I don't even know where my dad's plot is. I don't know. Well, I do know where it is. It's gonna be in Texas where his parents are.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But hell, at that point it's mute anyway. So I know we'll probably end up together. And she's been around me too long. I want to be in Arkansas, and I'm gonna be in Texas. Then, hell, what you gonna do?
they don't have a cemetery that's like right on the line.
Maybe I need to go down there and start one.
I was gonna say, yeah, if you can find a cemetery that's right on the line, and part of the cemetery's in Texas, part of it's in Arkansas, and if y'all maybe might be like a foot apart, well, he's in Texas,
you on
and
that
she's
side,
in Arkansas.
Yeah. So yeah, that's wild. And then either way, wherever the boys make their life, it'd be nice if it was only 45 miles away or 45 minutes. But either way, if we go back there, then they're gonna have hours to drive. And then the sad part about it is, after a while, there ain't gonna be nobody in the family that they know to even go visit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So all of that, and who knows a hill of beans or what that's gonna matter. Once you're in the ground, you're in the ground. But
as I say, you don't know anyway.
You don't know anyway. So I'm like, man, decisions. Everything is there. We got the wills and all of that. Money is there. We just don't know where the hell we're gonna end up.
Yeah, I tell you, we were fortunate things worked out, well enough. Like I say, I could see where men say, well, no, I don't know anybody in your hometown. I didn't grow up there. My
Hmm.
people are down in Alabama. That's where I want to go. And we would have to be in the same kind of situation. Well, do you does one sacrifice for the other, or do you end up being buried in two separate locations? And
Right.
like I say, we fortunate enough that we didn't have to, sort of go through that situation. But I don't know what we would have done if we'd have been sort of that kind of thing. I don't know if I would have had a big problem if she had said, I want to be buried in Alabama. I don't know if I would have had a big problem with that. I mean, I can understand why, because that's where people are.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just glad, we didn't have to deal with it. And, that was sort of the situation with Edward, when he passed away, I just went ahead and had him cremated, and his daughter, kept some of the ashes, and she gave some to Mary. And matter of fact, we got him here in a little uh, display, a little thing that they, you get for people putting their ashes in and stuff.
Right. Right.
And I said, well, that sort of worked out pretty good because, her other older brother that was in the military, they buried him at Fort Sam when he died, back in, I guess, the early 70s.
Mm.
But all the rest of, her Marion's folks are back down in Alabama,
Right.
including their
Right.
mother and father. So,
Oh, okay. Okay.
it's just one of those things. Like you say, it's something that you don't like to talk about and stuff, but it's inevitable. I mean, it's gonna happen.
Well, yeah, it's gonna happen.
And as you get to our age, you realize it's going to happen sooner than later because
Yeah.
you I was thinking about the other day. I'm like, damn, 65. You're a lot closer to that grave than you were 40 years ago.
Yes, sir. Hey,
So
like I was telling you about that window dude when I was having these windows done on me. He said, "Oh, it's got a lifetime warranty." I'm like, "Well, if you'd have said that when I was 20, that might have meant something." No, he ain't got telling me no lifetime. I said, if the Lord is very generous, I got 20 left.
yes, right. That's what I'm saying too. So I'm like, okay, that sort of reality starts to sit in when you start thinking about there's a whole lot more years that's gone past you than
I'm
years that's
telling you.
laying ahead of you. That's for sure.
I'm telling you. But I know, just like, it's kind of sad to say, I guess. I wasn't nowhere near as close to my family as she is to hers. So I know I'll probably say, fine, well, you want to be over here with your parents and everything, because her dad died, last year, and they already had their plots there. It's kind of eerie sitting there looking at his headstone, and then one laying there blank for the mother.
Mm-hmm.
And so her and my boys have been my life. So I probably just say, hey, we'll just get them over there. It's just a matter of doing it. 'Cause like I said, I was hell bent on getting it done when I went the last time, and I didn't do it.
Right.
And but we'll probably go ahead and get it done, because I like to take care of, get it done. I don't want to be no problem when time come up. Let's just get it done. And so I'll probably just go and get two plots and go from there. I read an article a few years ago. Well, it's been quite a few years ago. It was talking about the value in getting a burial plot early versus waiting until that time comes and then doing it. Well, of course, if you do it early, you get to pick your pick.
Right.
Number one, and then number two, as long as, and this was prevalent in the black neighborhood, they were dealing with the mortuaries that you might not, in 20 years it might not be around, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was a chance you was taking, and that's what they were saying. Versus, if you've got the means and you got the money there, wait until it's time to make a decision. Well, when you do that, though, you might not be able to get what you want.
Right.
So I've been kind of toying between that. I want to, but at this point in time, it's just like the windows. Hell, yeah, ain't like you got a whole lifetime. So I'm gonna have to go on and get with her. We're gonna have to decide and just go ahead and do it. Just go out there and pay for the plots, and that's basically what I want to do. I mean, just like I'm sure you do. I just want to make it that much easier on my kids. All they got to do is basically come do the other stuff that I think I've taught them to do, because you're going to get a lot of cousins coming into your life when they see that you might be getting a little cash. You, you know, I'm your auntie. Oh, I never met you.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, it happens. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So I'm like, hey, y'all going to have to depend on one another. And y'all make good sound decisions. Minute somebody come in here telling you what you need to do, you need to tone them out real quick. They don't even know you.
Yeah, and they smart enough, like you say. You know the people that's been there, and you know the people that your folks have cared for and were part of their life. You know, they know. They
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those that show up out of the blue all of a sudden boo-hooing and, oh no, he was one of my favorite uncles, or he was one of my no, no, no. Ain't seen you in 30 years, you know, so
And
they know.
he told me, you a lie. He ain't even talk to you. Yeah, man. So, but it's sad that you have to safeguard for all of that, man.
Oh yeah,
You know.
yeah, you do, you do, and it's usually the ones that haven't done well themselves and
Oh
looking
yeah,
for a quick buck kind of thing that you
man.
have to worry about. The ones that have done and made their own and taken care of themselves, yeah, it'd be good to have, some more money. I mean, I think everybody agrees with that. But they ain't living their life waiting for you to die to get the money.
Right.
They made it themselves. They've
That's
done their
right.
own thing.
They ain't looking for it.
No.
You know, and that's what that's the whole thing, man. So but yeah, we just try to prepare them for the best, and then make it the least taxing for them when
Yeah.
that time
Oh yeah.
comes. So, but it's time to get off the pot. It's time now because like I say, got more behind us than we do in front of us.
That's right. That's for sure. And you just never know from day to day how many more of those days you're going to have. So like I say, you got to make those kind of decisions and enjoy your life.
That's it.
I I don't think you should, you know, live the rest of your life, ever how many years or days that may be, um, worrying about what's going to happen. When's it going to come? Is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? Just live your life, and when it happens, it happens.
Yeah. Well, you ain't got no
That's
control over it, no ways.
but anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the way I look at it. Just enjoy your life, make some good sound decisions on things, and the rest of it will take care of itself. Ain't nothing you
Yeah.
can do about
And a thing you can do about it. I
it.
was telling, who was I telling the other day? I was talking to, well, anyway, we was just talking about how amazing it is that you have your plan, but you ain't thinking about the plan that God got for you that supersedes all that.
Hmm.
You sit up here talking, well, I'm on, and I'm on, and I'm on. You don't know what God's plan is. You ain't privy to that. You can have all the plans you want to. His is the one that counts.
Yeah, yeah. Like I say, all you can do is make the plans. How they turn out, they ain't always in your control.
That's right. I saw a thing one time where somebody said, "We love it. We love to see people make their plans and know God is up there just laughing. You don't even know what's finna come down, but you got your plan. So hey, I'm just glad to be here on a day-to-day basis. And
Yeah, that's why I am too. And I thank the Lord every day for it. Like
yes,
I say, I
sir.
don't know how far it's going, but I'm thanking Him anyway.
Yeah, yes,
so
sir.
I'm thanking
Yes,
Him
sir.
anyway for
That's right.
blessing me and my family. So
That's it. It's amazing how over the years how your priorities change. Just things that thought was making you happy wasn't making you happy at all. It's making you miserable. The simple things, man. Just like my boys coming over here tomorrow. I know years ago I'd be like, nah, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. But Landon got him a little puppy, so we got a new little Turner and Toke. We got Bo. So Bo's inauguration into the family is tomorrow. So
Yeah.
we gonna get a chance to meet him. My son didn't want to bring. He said, I ain't got him all the way potty trained. Bring his little ass over here, cause if he do something, I'm gonna pop him upside his damn head. He'll know he's welcome to the family there when he get exiled on that back porch. And he's like, "Oh, Dad, you crazy?" Oh, yep, I am. But just those little things,
Yeah. Yeah. Like you say, you realize that you have to enjoy life too.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
you can spend your whole life, like you say, trying to make plans, trying to do the right thing for everything you come into, debating the pros and cons and everything. But you still got to enjoy life.
Yeah. Oh,
Still
ain't
got
no
to
doubt
enjoy
about
your
it.
life and the simple things, and especially with family. There's been a few people when they've come to the house where my aunt and uncle is, and they said, "Boy, they just so fortunate to have somebody like you that can help them out and things of that nature." And I said, "Well, I've always been brought up that that's what you do for family.
There you
You
go.
know, that's what you do. You don't just say, oh, well, I ain't your kid. Figure it out on your own." I said, that's family. So,
But it harkens on what you just said earlier. You don't work for yours. You ain't looking for
mhm,
nothing. You just helping your uncle out.
that's it.
And that's the whole key right there. When you ain't looking for nothing, you don't mind helping. I mean, that's just the way it goes, and it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. As
Uh,
simple as that.
Simple as
Just
that.
simple as that. It's just the right things to do. And I'll be talking to him about that sometimes. Well, not all families are like that. And I said, yeah, I agree with you. Not all of them are like that. And I said, yeah, we're very fortunate that we got a kind of family that I ain't got to worry about, well, Mickey's in there doing everything. I wonder how much money he done took and all that kind of. I ain't got to worry about that kind of stuff.
That's
But
right.
that's not the way it is with every family. You're
The one,
exactly right.
the one that want to do the least is the one expecting the most.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah, or the ones that wants to make the decisions at that point. Well,
Right.
where were
Right.
you at back when you had to get somebody to come over there and clean them up because they done messed themselves, and
Exactly.
work out a schedule to get somebody to come to the house and take care of them and stuff. You weren't making no decisions then, but now all of a sudden you want to make all the decisions.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah, but we fortunately ain't got that kind of situation going on, and I think a lot of that's because we've all made our own way.
Yeah.
We ain't
Yeah.
sitting around waiting for somebody to die to get a few dollars. We've all made our own way, and
It's
I think that
also
makes a big difference.
Yes, it makes a big difference, and it's also a testament to your uncle and his wife the way they live their life. Because people that ain't worthy don't get that kind of people coming into their lives at this point in time. So hey man, I commend you, brother, because you know you doing that. That's a classic case of stepping up, seeing what needs to be done, and taking care of. You ain't looking for nothing out of it. You just doing the right thing. That's what I've always prided myself into. As a matter of fact, I try to I justify it in my mind that the Lord is blessing me this point in time in my life because I do work hard at doing the right thing. And there was a time in my life when that wasn't the case, but I asked him for forgiveness and told him that won't never happen again, and it ain't happen again.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think when you mean what you say and say what you mean, I think that makes a whole lot of difference. A whole lot of difference.
Yeah, it does. It does. It makes a difference, and to me, it makes it easier just to do the things that you got to do, the right
Yeah,
things. Yeah, I know those are not easy things to talk about, but there's nothing better than having prearrangements when you get to those critical points where family have to make a decision. In those cases, the decisions are already made. Hope you enjoyed this segment. We'll see you next time. This is Mickey G. Peace.